We saw this guy wearing a pro-Vladimir Lenin shirt. That's a pro-communist, pro-Soviet Union shirt, and we just had to get his thoughts. According to him, it's all the police's fault for Portland's problems.
We have houseless people everywhere. The system we have clearly doesn't work for a lot of people. Is that not obvious right in front of you? When you walk around Portland, what do you see? Right. There's a housing crisis. There's a crisis with housing being accessible to people, or else people wouldn't be on the streets, right?
Do you think we should elect new? I mean, you're right. Do you think we should elect newer people with fresher ideas? Because the Democrats have had the majority in the state for decades. I mean, they're the ones that have been in charge.
I agree.
Kind of the cause.
I agree that Democrats can, be corrupt, but I haven't heard any new ideas from Republicans, if that's what you're talking about.
You like communism?
It's a great idea.
You think government control, complete government control, is a good idea? You trust government that much?
I think you don't know what you're talking about.
I'm just asking questions. I'm not telling you what to think. I'm just asking questions for you to answer. Giving you the opportunity to answer.
Government control of what?
Government control of private property, the means of production, supply chains, corporations, private businesses. You think government should be in control of all of that?
Do you think it's not right now?
I think it's too much right now.
Okay.
I think limited government is what kind of America was founded on, right?
What does limited government mean to you?
In simple terms, government has a limited, small role to support citizens, but not get in the way of citizens' freedoms, liberties, and pursuit of happiness and pursuit of success. It seems like the more government gets involved, the more the problems arise. Do you agree with that?
No. I think that's totally that's a broad, general statement that's completely meaningless.
Okay, so let's not go broad then. Let's talk about Portland and specifically Portland. You just mentioned a problem with the homelessness, right? How do you think we got there with the homelessness? You think it was government, or do you think people are just wanting to be homeless too much?
I absolutely don't think people want to be houseless, but I have no idea how you can think that the government being too involved is what is causing housing to be unaffordable.
So you don't think that their lack of support from the police here and the law enforcement had anything to do with it? Maybe the legalization of hard drugs, you don't think that had anything to do with it, with the homeless?
No, I think that the police are doing blue flu and purposely not enforcing laws because they want to paint this narrative.
You think it's the police's fault?
Yeah, I think the police have a huge role here. They've been lying to the public about people like Joanne Hardesty for years now to get her ousted from the council. They've been lying about things right and left. They've been doing what they call blue flu.
So it's all the police's fault, you think?
No, I didn't say that at all.
Do you know who's in charge of the police?
The mayor.
That's my point, brother.
I didn't vote for him.
That's what my point, though, is
I never voted for Ted Wheeler. Never. Not once or twice.
That's my point, though, is how can the police do their...
The Democrats. He's a crappy mayor.
But he keeps getting voted in.
No, he barely did. He didn't even get a majority. He got 40% last time. He has no mandate. Portland proved we didn't want him.
What kind of ideas do you like about Joanne Hardesty? What kind of ideas do you think that she brings to the table that can solve these problems?
She actually wanted to rein in the police and make them do their jobs and hold them accountable. Look what they're doing since she's been ousted. They're not doing their jobs. They're not showing up. They're not showing up with people.
You don't think they're understaffed?
Yeah, they're understaffed because they have stupid policies and people don't want to work there.
So back in 2020...
They keep trying to drug test people that apply. It's Oregon. People are going to test positive for weed. Grow up. It's silly. No, there's a reason they can't recruit anybody because their policies are dumb and people don't want to enforce them.
You think that's the police's policies, not the government's? Not the local government's? Not the DA that refuses to prosecute people and that keeps releasing people back onto the streets? You don't think that has anything to do with it? You don't think it has anything to do with it that the mayor, Ted Wheeler, is in charge of the police? He's a freaking police commissioner. You think that has nothing to do with it, brother?
I told you I don't like Ted Wheeler. I want him out of office. I think he is the police commissioner. I think that he hides behind the police.
I think every time the police try to do their job here, they get demonized by not just the media, but the activists.
What is the
enforce the law?
Job
to enforce the law.
So you think what? You think that they're not being mean enough to houseless people? They're not beating them up?
Well, let's go to 20.
They're not scaring them away enough? What do you think should be done? They're not being mean enough. Is that it? The police aren't being, they're not killing enough people?
Can you enforce the law?
They're not shooting enough people? They're not beating enough people up? They're not beating people with batons enough? You don't see that?
I don't agree with all that. I don't agree with all. I don't agree with police.
Tear gas all summer like 2020?
I was down here.
You missed the smell of tear gas?
The tear gas was the police's fault?
Of course it was. Who deployed?
It wasn't
the tear gas?
it wasn't the. I was down here. I witnessed it. It wasn't the people throwing Molotov cocktails and fireworks at them.
That sounds like she shouldn't have worn that dress, or he wouldn't have attacked her. Dude, who deployed the tear gas?
So
Who deployed
were
the
you-
tear gas?
Were you out in front of the federal courthouse when it was being attacked?
Yeah, by attack.
So-
attacked, you mean a couple people threw apples at it?
No, there was fireworks and there was cocktails. You know that.
Oh my God,
Come
there
on,
was
let's be honest.
fireworks. Fireworks.
I mean,
Oh
they're
my God.
explosives. If I threw a
Fireworks at a
firework right now, you
building.
wouldn't be.
Fireworks at a cement brick building that has a.
They were throwing it at
giant
officers.
gate in front of it.
They were throwing it at officers.
Oh my God.
So you don't expect them to deploy anything? You expect them just to take it and not try to like restore order? It was. I mean, you can
They
protest.
were in full body armor.
So-
I mean, they looked like stormtroopers. I saw like 2 sparklers fly through the air and miss them, maybe.
Do you know how many officers were injured and how many are actually going through?
I know that they reported a lot of injuries, but like, whatever. Cops lie a lot. They literally have a term for it. It's called test lying. They train each other how to lie on the stand so that they're really good at it.
Have you had bad experience with cops in your life?
Have you had a lot of good experiences with cops in your life?
Had many.
Wow. Okay. Well,
I've also had bad
have
experiences
you
though.
ever heard of white privilege?
You believe in white privilege? Do you have privilege?
I don't have to believe in it.
What's white privilege to you? Trying to make sure we're clear on where you stand. That's why I'm asking these questions. What's white privilege to you?
I mean, we have a society that was built with the idea that some people have rights and some people don't, and that's based on whether there's melanin in your skin or not. And our society has, some of the laws have changed, but the cultural...
What are you doing personally to help change that?
Let's see. I taught for a decade.
What did you teach?
I taught history and I taught Spanish.
You're not teaching anymore?
No, now I work in nonprofit work.
Thank God.
I do nonprofit work. See, you don't.
I don't know why he's standing here. Do you want me to tell him to go away?
No, you've been ranting though.
He's not with us. He's not with us.
He's just listening. 'Cause
Yeah,
he's
yeah.
cool.
You don't like cops, so I'm just wondering if you want me to
He's
tell him to
just
go.
a private security. He's the market security. He's just here helping, making sure.
I think let me just tell you something. We don't agree on a lot of things, but I think you made some really good, solid points. I think that you're well spoken. I don't agree with white privilege. I'm Hispanic. How can I have? I mean, what?
There
So
are white Hispanics, people from Spain. The first white people in the Americas to colonize the Americas were Spanish speakers. Of course, there's white Hispanics.
so what's white privilege? Is it just?
People in Latin America have white privilege too. Look who the wealthiest people are in Latin American countries.
Our vice
Famous
president right
people.
now is African American. We had an African American president for 8 years.
Yeah, representation is not revolution. Representation is not that doesn't mean that everybody.
Some of the richest athletes in our country is African American. Though, like, I'm trying to figure out where the white privilege
That's
is.
tokenism. You're doing tokenism.
Okay, so I'm just trying to figure out. Teach me, what is white privilege and how is it affecting
Okay,
society?
90% of the wealth in this country is owned by white people. They're not 90% of the population. How about that?
Well, there's also a very big disproportionate population of white people in general compared to blacks.
How about this fact? That after slavery was abolished, all of the white people who made millions of dollars for free off of other people's labor got to keep all of that money and continue to build that wealth, and their descendants got to build off of that wealth that was earned through other people's torture and slavery. And most of the richest families and corporations in this country right now, their initial wealth was built off of slavery. And those are white families, and those are the people that own this country. Those are the people that run this country. It's the Rockefellers, it's the Bushes, it's Harvard and Yale, you know? These are the institutions and the people that run this country and own this country. And
So in the end,
their
you
wealth
don't.
was built off of slavery of black people.
Sounds more like you're kind of a libertarian in some ways than a communist, bro. Because that sounds more libertarian.
I'm probably a libertarian socialist, if that's a thing.
Are you going to vote for Trump in 2024?
Absolutely, no. Trump is going to send a hit squad here to... Trump assassinated someone in Portland. Do you remember that? He
Have to-
just sent a hit squad to somebody. To
Wait,
kill
are
somebody.
you talking about the guy that shot the Trump
the guy
supporter?
that shot the Proud Boys?
So the guy committed murder, and the FBI went after him and got
there
in a
was no trial or anything.
because they were in a shootout.
No, they weren't. The guy wasn't even armed. He was walked. They didn't even try to arrest him. They showed up and just filled him with bullets. It was a death squad.
Okay, so do you?
If Trump gets
I get
reelected,
you.
he's going to kill everybody that protested in Portland. He's going to kill everybody that's trying to persecute him right now. He's going to come up with some fucking bullshit conspiracy. They're going to like plant stuff on people's computers or something and then accuse them all of being part of something and then just start assassinating people. I do not want to have civil war and genocide, and that's what Trump wants.
I don't want to kill you.
Yeah, you do.
I don't want to kill you.
You guys want to kill leftists so bad. You guys fantasize about it. You have T-shirts about how like Pinochet didn't get the job done and stuff.
I think. Hold on. Hey, stop. I think that I don't want.
Lenin fought an actual civil war. If you want to be like Lenin killed people, well, so did George Washington. Like, how is Lenin different than George Washington?
But I don't want to
Biden,
kill you.
okay? I don't like Joe Biden.
Okay.
I don't like
Fair enough.
Donald
Then we have
Trump.
that in
I
common.
don't want to vote for either of them.
We have that
I
in
don't
common.
support either of them, but I do think that Trump is worse. And I think part of it is that he'll put worse people in his cabinet. His last cabinet, nobody seems to remember, had more Goldman Sachs people in it than any president in history. He got convicted of rape, dude. So you are going to vote for a rapist. He was just convicted of rape. Just convicted in court. So you're going to vote for a rapist. Will you tell me that? Say that you're going to go on the record.
Who did you vote for last presidential cycle?
I voted for Biden because I don't want to vote for a rapist.
You don't think Biden is creepy when it comes to kids? You don't think that he crosses the line when it comes to sniffing children and all that kind of stuff?
I think that you can take selective photos of anybody. Mass executions if he gets reelected.